All right, friends, grab your favorite mug, get cozy, and let's talk about something that's changed more about you than you probably realize: the internet. But not in the
You spend too much time online
way. I mean, how it's literally rewired how we talk, write, think, and communicate. I'm the Fit Historian, and this is Historically Gaming, where we make sense of the modern world by dragging it through the historical archives. Today's hot topic: how the internet broke language and then built something completely new in its place. Here's the first thing you need to know. Language is not sacred. It's not a fossilized artifact locked in a museum. Language is more like a Tamagotchi. You have to feed it, it evolves, and sometimes it dies when you forget to check on it. Historically, language has always adapted to its tech. Ancient cuneiform emerged because someone had to keep receipts, literal grain receipts, and carving it into clay was the most efficient method. When the printing press hit Europe in the 1440s, it didn't just spread literacy, it standardized grammar, spelling, and even created aesthetic conventions like italicization and capitalization. You know how we use bold and caps for emphasis online? Gutenberg walked so your group chat could scream. And don't forget the telegraph. Brevity is the soul of telegrams. Every word cost money, so people shortened and compressed everything. Sound familiar? That's because it's the ancestor of text speak. The internet, it just accelerated all of that by about 1,000. It gave us global reach, instant response time, and a keyboard in every pocket. It's like turning your local village gossip into an international influencer overnight. So let's talk about what linguists call computer-mediated communication, or CMC. And yes, it's exactly as nerdy as it sounds, but also kind of awesome. CMC is basically any kind of human communication that happens through digital technology. So email, texting, Discord, Reddit threads where everyone's arguing in all caps. That's all CMC. It's different from face-to-face talk because it's usually text-based, time-shifted, and heavily shaped by tech limitations. Historically speaking, this isn't new. Every major communication tech, from hieroglyphs to telegrams, created its own writing conventions. The telegram, for instance, charged by the word, so people would drop unnecessary words. Arriving 4 p.m., stop, bring umbrella, stop. The 19th century Twitter. And today, we've just hit hyperdrive. We abbreviate for speed, the letter U instead of you, emotion, LMAO versus haha, or even performance, IDC with the nail painting emoji. We're doing constant code switching depending on who we're talking to, switching from lowercase soft text to corporate grammar the second our boss emails us. We're also seeing new forms of register. It's a linguistic term for language style based on context. CMC gives us what some scholars call a hybrid register, where formal and informal speech patterns mash together. You can say, respectfully, this take is trash, which is the perfect mix of polite and petty. That sentence doesn't really work without internet context. But online, it's a whole genre. Let's talk about vocabulary, and not just the slang, but how the very process of word formation has been reshaped by internet culture. Linguists have a term for how new words are created: neologisms. The internet has become the world's most prolific neologism machine. From selfie to crypto bro, we're generating more new words now than in any previous era. And yes, that includes Shakespeare's. We're seeing compounding. Face plus book equals Facebook. Then there's clipping. So application is now app. There's also the blending of words with web plus blog equals blog. Or my favorite, breakfast plus lunch is brunch. And then there's also prefixing with the letter E and the word cyber. which stuck to everything in the early 2000s like cling wrap. Social media, in particular, is a linguistic petri dish. Words emerge, mutate, go viral, die, and sometimes even come back from the dead like linguistic zombies. Just ask Riz. What's wild is how fast it happens. A phrase like on fleek went from origin, a Vine in 2014, to global fame, to ironic use, to cringe, in less than 2 years. That's faster than most pop star careers. And let's not forget how dictionaries now crowdsource meaning. Platforms like Urban Dictionary often document new words before official lexicons. The dictionary isn't defining culture anymore. Culture is defining the dictionary. Grammar used to be sacred. You couldn't end a sentence with a preposition without someone reaching for a red pen. But online, grammar has become fluid, emotional, and performative. Linguists call this shift part of pragmatic variation, the way we bend grammar to suit context and intent. Want to show the sarcasm? Add extra periods, or what's known as an ellipses, on the end. So that would look like, that's great, ... Want to express excitement? Use chaotic caps and punctuation. OMG, I can't believe this. Crying face, 3 fire emojis. Want to create rhythm or build suspense? Wait, what just happened? We're also seeing more non-standard orthography. That's a fancy term for creative spelling and punctuation. It includes thanks, THX, please, PLS, I don't know, IDK, misspellings for comedic effect like hello. None of this is random. These are strategies to inject tone, nuance, or timing into a medium that lacks vocal tone, facial expression, and body language. What used to be called bad grammar is now expressive grammar. It's less about correctness and more about communication goals, a shift from rules to functionality. Here's a spicy take. Emojis might be the most important writing system of the 21st century. No joke. Emojis are a visual supplement to language, helping us restore the nonverbal cues we lose in digital communication. Linguists call this paralinguistic restitution. It's like emotional subtitles for your text. Emojis can modify meaning. I'm fine versus I'm fine. Add context, or even replace full sentences. And memes? Memes are practically the internet's version of oral tradition, passed from user to user, remixed endlessly, but always carrying some kind of cultural commentary. What makes memes powerful is their reliance on intertextuality, the layering of references. Understanding a meme often requires understanding at least 2 or 3 previous pieces of media or moments in online culture. It's fast, recursive, and incredibly efficient. There's even academic research calling memes participatory folklore. They are not just jokes, but actual cultural artifacts with meaning. Okay, here's a section that hits where it hurts. Monetization and how it's hijacking how we talk. So here's a weird but true thing. The internet didn't just make language faster or funnier, it made it profitable. And once you add profit into the mix, people start talking differently. Not because they're being fake, but because the algorithm rewards certain words, rhythms, and formats. On YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, creators use language as clickbait and currency. Entire trends are built around buzzwords and phrases the algorithm likes. Take the rise of phrases like, here's the tea, story time, I was today years old. The internet is not ready for this. These aren't just memes, they're hooks. They cue our brain to expect drama, humor, or hot takes, making them more shareable. It's not just storytelling anymore, it's story selling. And then there's demonetization, safe language, an actual survival tactic. Platforms scan for keywords that might flag a video as inappropriate, so creators adapt. Suddenly, sex becomes segs, death or suicide becomes unalive, and so on, so forth. It's like speaking in code to avoid triggering the parental controls of capitalism. There's even a name for this: linguistic sanitization, where creators dilute meaning to protect their revenue. It's language optimized for platform policies, not people. On top of that, content creators rely on algorithms that analyze engagement data, which means language that encourages action is prioritized. Comment below, smash that like button, don't scroll yet. These are linguistic cues designed to manipulate behavior. You're not just talking to your audience, you're talking to the algorithm watching behind them. In short, language online is no longer just expressive, it's performative, it's strategic. And yes, I'm going to do a full video deep dive into the economics of internet language, because this rabbit hole is a whole subterranean city. Now, here's where the language nerds go full gladiator. Is the internet destroying English language? The battle is basically prescriptivists versus descriptivists. Prescriptivists want order, grammar, punctuation, sentences that don't start with so. Descriptivists, they're like language evolves, chill. From a historical perspective, English has always evolved through use, not decree. Shakespeare made up words. Chaucer wrote in a new dialect. Slang from African American Vernacular English, or AAVE, has been shaping American English for decades. And yet, some folks act like saying y'all online is the death of grammar. Spoiler, it's not. Linguists argue that internet English isn't bad English, it's contextual English. What works on TikTok won't work in a job application. But that doesn't make either version invalid, it just makes them situational. We've always had registers. The internet just made them more obvious. And honestly, more fun. So here we are, living in a constant language patch update. Words are born, mutated, monetized, and memed in record time. Grammar is more like a flexible toolkit than a rigid rulebook. Visual language supplements text, and the line between communication and content creation has completely blurred. Yes, the internet broke language, but it also gave us new ways to play with it, and that's kind of beautiful. As a historian, I see this not as chaos, but as creativity. It's not the end of language, it's the next chapter in its evolution. And as always, the way we talk reflects the world we live in. So, what about you? Has the internet changed the way you talk? Drop your favorite internet phrase below, or better yet, coin a new one. Let's see what catches on. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that bell like it owes you money. More deep dives coming your way, including that full video on how capitalism is changing language online. You're not ready. I'm the Fit Historian. Stay curious, stay cozy, and speak weirdly on purpose. Bye!